we don't know what happens to the worlds consumed by the hunger. They could still be alive in there. We could still save them. This has to be the point where we decide who we are. And we can't be the type of people who could destroy an entire world for any reason. That can't be us. We can't do this.
I'm not going to throw an entire civilization away on an idea.
It just seems way too cruel of a thing to even consider. I mean, these are all innocent people that we're gambling with.
Fuck, I was looking for this. Jesus. I'm sorry. Go on.
And O'Neill just picks up a rock.
Troth is like, I'm glad you found what you came for. We already have, and we're gonna keep doing it, and if I don't know what it is we're supposed to hold on to. I keep trying to put up a brave face, but what do we hang on to?
What we hang on to is... Excuse me. What we hang on to is... I'm sorry, I'm still getting over my cold.
I want to imagine I was in character.
Same. And Loop is just like, are you all right? Have you been swimming at night? You know you're not supposed to do that because it's stupid. Even the hippie could have told you that first thing.
Oh. Oh, so I'm the hippie now. Okay. I see.
And now, the continuation. No, really, I do. Seriously.
Okay, I was gonna say. All right, so somebody give me a recap.
We broke the game. We
traveling through different planes of existence, showing up through ones that are not ours.
Yeah.
Then, hey, we figure out what the hunger is finally. That's comforting.
No, it isn't.
Oh goodness. Let's see what else here.
And we also learned how we died a bunch of times.
Yes.
At least in part.
Partially. Let's see, what other important
We're
notes?
part of the Nova, which is an exploratory thing.
Yep, IPRE. Or wait, what do we name our ship? The Nova?
I literally just said the Nova.
Okay.
Yes. Gasp, there's a bomb.
Shamash is as sexy as ever.
Ugana is small and confused.
And Lucretia is best mother.
Okay.
Well,
Anything else you guys wanted to go over?
It's been a while, girl. It's
we got high a little bit.
No, you guys got high. I got jacked from getting high.
Well, you didn't have to go.
I kind of got dragged by a big, lovely dragon.
Yeah, I think that's all the parts, at least.
Like, we're bouncing from... Is it planes or planets?
Planes.
Yeah, so we're bouncing from planes,
realities.
trying to fucking hide from this thing.
And it keeps finding you every year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woohoo.
Yay. Alright, so. The last cycle you left was the cycle with the Animal Kingdom. That was the last cycle we actually took a look at. Every cycle you've been through since then has been as completely diverse and as fantastic as that first one. Each one is so completely different than the last that it almost becomes a blur of color. And when you drop into cycle number 8, you end up with probably the strangest world yet. 80% of the landmass is completely covered in gigantic bioluminescent mushrooms that light up in these soft neon colors.
Oh, hell yeah.
It seems to always be raining, which gives that bioluminescence a kind of hazy effect. It's like imagine Tokyo in the rain.
Ooh.
This feels like some ecstasy shit.
I feel like I'm in ecstasy.
As you do your flyovers, Lucretia is completely fascinated by these mushrooms. She has just pages and pages of them in her sketchbook. As you investigate, you realize that the rain and the haziness are also part of this thick cloud of spores that seems to be omnipresent around the planet. Alta is very hesitant to bring the ship down, but through that cloud of spores, but you're pretty sure you see occasional movement underneath that cloud. Eventually, she does start bringing you closer, and you discover that the small clearings of land that aren't occupied by mushrooms are completely occupied by the smaller races like halflings, dwarves, gnomes, and they eke out this sort of harrowing life here with staggered fences and bonfires, makeshift gas masks, the works. They send scorch teams out every night trying to burn back this mushroom forest, but it's an uphill battle because the forest is always producing these spores, and it's maintained by these giant human-sized mushrooms.
What the fuck happened to Munchkin Land?
As you're investigating, you also spy that the mushrooms tend to usually run away from humanoids if they see them. So you drop in completely unmolested by the mushrooms. You end up kind of accepted into one of these small race settlements. You're outfitted with gas masks. And a few days after your arrival, the light of creation falls so you can just barely see it over the southern horizon.
Oh, cool.
So, what are you guys going to do with your year?
Well, I think getting attached to these fucking people is not a good idea. I mean, they're probably gonna fucking die. Let's just be frank.
I thought we were being Aviana.
No, I'm being me for a second. I'm just being me for a second. I'm just talking to everybody else for just half a tech.
I see what you mean, but it wouldn't hurt to be friendly, to say hi.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, of course, I just meant, like, us as players, like, don't get overly attached, because I got attached to the animals, and they're all fucking dead, so.
Trust me, I'm about as emotionally detached as I can get when it comes to these NPCs right now.
No, I mean, of course, Ivyana wants to, like, braid their hair and stuff, but at me, I'm like, don't fucking trust them, don't fucking love them, don't get to know their names, don't care.
I kind of got a gist of what what Yugon wants to do, but
Okay.
It depends on what Lucretia is doing, because he's still, even though this is the 8th cycle or year or whatever, he's still listening to Lucretia in that he sticks close to her and does research on
Okay.
whatever she's doing research of.
Okay. Lucretia has sort of made a habit of anytime you get to a cycle where other people want to go out, she's almost always the one who stays behind with the ship. She's usually, in this cycle, she's normally flitting around the edges of this little settlement, sketching the huts, sketching the mushrooms, drawing what she can of the mushroom people. She's kind of being a homebody.
Now, like, do we know that the mushroom people are, like, dangerous and hazardous to the little people? Or, like...
You can ask around.
Okay, then I'll probably investigate that a little bit.
Okay, and well, I think that's a small enough thing that, yeah, as you start to ask around, they tell you, no, the mushroom people are never violent unless you outright attack one. They don't care if they scorch back the forest. They tend to run whenever other things that aren't mushroom people get near.
Okay, so they're like they're fleeting.
Yeah, they coexist with the mushroom forests and take care of them, but they're not at all hostile.
Okay, all right, that changes my opinion.
Okay.
if that's the case, then I'll probably be part of the party that goes looking for the light of creation.
Okay, so your thing is you want to go chase the light of creation. Okay.
Yeah, I want to definitely do that.
Okay. I kind of want to get an idea of what all like to do. That way, if someone wants to go with someone else, we can work that out a little more solidly than the last cycle we did.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, hey, if anybody wants to come with me, I'm probably going to go.
Okay. What are the rest of you three going to do with your year?
I'm getting to know the populace. Because the last time I went to go look for the light of creation, I got crushed to death. So I'm sticking around with the happy, fun, dancing people.
To be fair, since that point, you probably died a whole bunch of other ways since then. So.
Yes, but that one sticks out the most.
Oh, true.
Because it actually happened.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Shamash, you're sticking with them. Is there anything in particular you're aiming to do? I wanna have like actionable things that you guys work toward.
Let's see. I kind of want to know a little bit more about their everything. You know, what their lifespan's like. Basically, I want.
So you want to get to know these people?
I do.
The very thing I said don't do.
I want to hurt Josh.
You want to hurt? Josh.
I want
Okay.
him to grow connected
If that's
to
your
something.
personal choice that you want to hurt your character, go for it.
I want him to feel attached and lose something so he can get ready for his sister.
So you can just like adopt this like little crippled orphan gnome child.
It's okay, Tiny Tim.
Yeah. God bless us, everyone.
Oh no, Tiny Tim's down.
Tiny Tim's down.
Thanks.
Tiny Tim's down. Keep him
Burn
down.
another one. Whalp, off into the wild blue yonder we go. Sorry, kiddos.
Wait, are you going to save us, Mr. Shamosh? Goodbye.
Buckle the fuck up, kiddos.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Shamosh helps those who help themselves.
Gwen?
Yeah, no, I didn't realize how loud I was.
Oh.
My parents are trying to sleep.
Oh, whoops a daisy.
Ayop. So, okay. So, Onir, do you have an idea of what you're going to spend this year?
Yes. I'm going to see if I can actually try to commune with the mushroom humanoids.
Interesting. Okay. Yugon, any ideas?
My original plan was to extract whatever unique resources there might be here, because if this place goes down, we should at least have something to kind of remember it by. But
Okay.
Plan for the end. I like your style.
Hey, I found this. That's Tiny Tim.
And that's...
this is Tiny Tim's leg.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck. And like, that's an interesting...
and rotten.
And like that's an interesting point, because I think you guys have tried to take actual people across with you, and when you break through the barrier, they're usually gone. They cannot follow you. But
Gone as in they're teleported somewhere else, or gone as in they're like dust now?
they are no longer on the ship. There's no trace that they ever were on the ship, because the ship reverts back to base state.
Great.
So basically what we're doing is we're kidnapping a bunch of people, and when we plane shift, they're just kind of ejected out and floating into the fucking multiverse.
You have no idea. That could very well be what's happening.
So if they don't freeze to death in space, the hunger eats them. Nice. Solid.
I personally think we're making it work.
Hold on, quick question: does the same thing happen to anything that we pick up from the place?
No. And that's how your assets are carrying items last. And I think at the beginning of this cycle, actually, while you're traversing the planet, Alta finds a rat.
A rat?
Yeah, a rat that must have gotten on the ship in a previous cycle.
Yeah,
And
but
so-
Yugon's already here. Sorry, I had to. I'm sorry. I love you, Joel. I love you. I really do, fam.
You know,
Yugon's not a bad person yet.
Yes.
you know, it's all fun and games until I'm the next DM.
Yeah, no,
No,
that's
God,
true.
he's gonna
That's a
really-
genuine threat. That's a genuine threat.
I may have just fucked myself.
Mother of God. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. So what you've learned is that anything of a lower intelligence and physical objects can follow you, but anything of a higher order of thinking cannot.
Okay.
So, we have get in touch with the mushrooms. We have chill with the people. We have get some natural resources. And we have shit, what was the other one? We'll find the light, yes.
Yeah.
Of course. So I think we'll start with let's start with Shamash.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Go on, Shamash, do you think?
So I think this would be a roll plus heart because they're not unfriendly to you, but it's definitely a kind of life that doesn't allow for much cheer or much wanting to really deeply get to know people. They cling to each other and regard strangers with some suspicion.
Alright, so roll my heart.
Yes.
Where did I put my heart?
It's in your
It
chest,
should-
silly. I hope it's not on your sleeve.
Oh,
Nah.
Golly gosh.
that was adorable.
And then Angus is just on the ship now.
Hello, sirs.
Duh! Fucking throw overboard!
What's your fucking language, sir? I'm only 12 years old.
Alright, so.
Why the fuck would you be so rude?
2d6,
I'm having so much fun.
2d6 plus my heart.
Yes, which I think is 2.
It's 2.
That is a
Pass!
no.
That is a mixed success.
Yeah, it's a mixed success. That's just barely a mixed success.
But you know what? For Shamash, that's a victory.
Yeah, no. So, you you guys never become best friends, but you get to a point where they finally agree to, if you guys are going to be setting out into the forest for any extended length of time, it might be worth their while to send a team with you. It won't be their best team because they need people to stick around.
Just
And
carrying a fucking armful over to Yugon. Hey, I found these guys for you.
No, just 3 guys show up.
Just 3 guys.
Where the fuck is the rest of the militia?
They're getting
No, they're on vacation.
Why did you
they're
bring these?
getting eaten by mushrooms.
Why did you bring these guys to me?
because they're gonna go with you on these things now. They're your bodyguards because I'm not fucking going out there anymore. Have fun.
And you just run back inside with Lucretia.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shit. And like,
I'm not dealing with that again.
all right, and I'd say go ahead and one bond for dedicating your time to trying to understand these guys and befriend them and get them to work with you.
Fucking
So
Luke
partially
was always
succeeded.
telling me, "Oh, you got to make new friends."
Okay. Next up, I think should be, let's go with Onir.
Hey.
Onir, how do you go about trying to get into contact with the mushroom folk?
All right. Well, well, since Shamash, since he got at least us acquainted with some of the people here.
Mhm.
I go and ask a few people, just hey, so what times do they typically show up? Before the burning, after the burning, at night, during the day, what time? So I just go out, when I'm more, when I'm liable to meet somebody, or at least
Mhm.
acknowledge them.
Mhm.
Just kind of present myself non-threatening, kind of make contact.
Okay. I think that would also fall. Do you think that would fall under a mind roll or a heart roll? Because I'm thinking heart because you're trying to present yourself non-threateningly, which is going to be a very charisma thing.
I would say yeah, because I was thinking being that was more charismatic, more than anything require intelligence or logic. It's more of feeling.
Okay, then yeah, go ahead and roll your heart for me.
Heart. So what? 2d6 plus my thing, which is
Yes.
2d6, right? Okay, cool.
Mhm.
All right.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
Okay, yeah, no, these it takes a long time because anytime anything moves that isn't them, they run away. But you spend so much time out there just kind of chilling, just kind of making your presence known, becoming a part of the forest, that eventually they start actually moving around you, moving towards you. They're fairly curious. You can't understand anything that they're doing, but they are fairly curious.
Okay.
Um, and I think actually because you've rolled so well, do you want to also do a mind roll to see if you can actually learn how to communicate with them?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's see how it goes.
Oh,
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
Oh my god.
God dang.
Somebody fucking nerf Onir.
It's getting too much.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So, that takes most of the rest of your time trying to learn how to actually communicate with them. But yeah, not only do you manage to make yourself a presence that they recognize, but you actually set up a very rudimentary kind of sign language. You find out that this species call themselves myconids, and they exist in as peaceful harmony as they can with the other humanoid races here. They're not best pleased about the burning, but everything needs to survive, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So with that, I think that's going to very much help with the other two things, which will be Yugon.
I thought you called them Michael Nids.
No, Joel.
I'm concerned
No.
about you, Joel.
You're a
You
little
are doing me a
obsessed.
concern. Okay. Let me think. And go ahead and mark 2 bonds, Zonir.
2 bonds.
Bondage.
Question, can I still get bonds for looking for the light or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Plus 6 bonds. Hell yeah.
These bonds are going to be
6.
useful for us, right?
I only have 2.
Not 6.
I think I
What am
only
I
have
talking
1.
about? I'm looking at the number 6.
Oh.
I
Sorry.
was gonna
I was
freaking
about to
say.
say, what the fuck? I only have 1.
I'm sorry.
Socialize
All right.
more, Shamash.
Okay. So, Yugon,
Yo.
how are you going to go about looking for... What exactly are you looking for, and how are you going to go about it?
Two things. One, which is the easiest one, is the mushrooms that aren't moving around and talking. Looking to get some of those for some potential food and stuff, and to look into them. And the other is looking for any, like, kind of like, any sort of like special soil or sap or anything like that that stands out among the among nature on this planet.
Okay. Okay, so you're looking for... Like, food isn't hard to come by. They're, the races that live here are pretty adept at fending for themselves and making food. But if you're looking specifically for some kind of magical resource that comes from the land itself, I'd say go ahead and make a mind roll.
Oh yeah. Okay, 2d. Oops, that's 2d8.
No, you're not rolling 2d8.
That's
Okay.
That's a mixed success right there.
That is. So it's a little hard to communicate what it is you want to the myconids, and the the humanoid races have no idea what the hell you're about. it takes a very long time to get the concept through to the Myconids, but eventually they do kind of get it, and they start indicating something much further south, much further south than where you are now. And I think with a mixed success, you get any assets for that roll.
I don't get any
But-
assets.
Correct, but that will give Eviana,
Yo,
because you now have both a team of Scorchers who are going to be going with you, and a team of Myconids that will be leading you. Go ahead and roll. How are you going to go about finding the light? What are you doing?
probably trekking.
Okay.
Like footwork probably is. I mean, I assume that's the only way we can.
Okay. I mean, you could also take the ship if you wanted to do a flyover.
Oh yeah, we'll probably fly over as much as we can, and then when we're like about halfway, maybe like a fourth of the way, like 3/4 of the way there. Excuse me,
Mhm.
and then like trek from there.
Okay. All right, so let's do this then. Go ahead and roll. What would that be for? I'd say roll mind first to
Great,
follow
my worst quality. All right.
You do have a bonus because you have a guide. And remember, if you have any assets, you can spend them to increase your abilities by 1 tier. Damn.
Not gonna need it.
Damn.
Okay, yeah, you follow instructions of the Myconids pretty clearly. They know exactly where they're going, even up in the air. They're so deeply in tune with this forest that there's no way they can lead you astray. So Alta brings the ship around. You land a good distance off, and now go ahead and roll body for your bushwhacking.
All right.
Jesus Christ, guys.
All right.
We are in rare form today.
Yeah. No one's failed, lots of successes.
We got our shit together, boys.
Okay. Yeah, so as all of you, or everyone who went, get closer and closer to the direction the Myconids have been leading you, you notice that the mushrooms around have been getting bigger and bigger and brighter the closer you get. Until you find a center so bright that not even the haze of spores can keep the light dim. This is like the heart of Manhattan Island. This is New York City, Times Square bright.
Oh Jesus.
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 And lying on their faces in a circle around the light are just hundreds of Myconids. And all of them are withered up and dried away. And the Myconid team you're traveling with sort of expresses through this rudimentary sign language that they craved the light so much that they didn't want anything else, not food, not shelter. They just lay down right here and basked in the light until they became completely malnourished and just dried away.
Like kind of like moths. That's fucking sad.
But they gesture to the light, and they basically indicate that they, even as beautiful and as amazing as it is, if it's going to cause this, they will allow you to take it.
Oh, wonderful. Great. So like is it just is it a thing I can pick up?
It's kind of weird because it's a sphere of light but not a solid sphere. You can reach your hands into it and you meet a resistance that lets you pick it up, but there's nothing exactly solid about it.
So is it like hovering in my hands, would you say then?
Kinda, sorta.
Okay, I get what you mean.
And it's through this interaction, bringing it back, and Loop and Sildar studying it, that you discover the light of creation wants desperately to be wanted. It projects that wanting like a beacon, and anything around it that can feel it wants to collect it no matter what.
Out of character, this kind of feels like the relics a little bit, I'm just saying.
So how do you end this cycle?
Well, they're studying it, right? Or are they done studying it? Is the studying done?
I didn't get anything done.
Well, you did. You made it much easier for you guys to collect the light, even though we didn't end up needing the boost because she rolled really high. But having that definitely would have helped had she still not rolled very well.
Yeah. So either way, you kind of confirmed.
Oh, I didn't know that. My bad.
Yeah, you helped.
Yeah, you helped find the light. You like, this is the thing you can take. Get out of here.
Sweet.
Zah.
High five.
Head five.
Okay, so you said you want to spend a little bit of the time you have actually actively studying it?
Yes.
Okay, what are you looking for?
If it has any specific like reactions to anything, if we can try using it, like if it reacts to the bonds in any way, experimenting with it, if you will.
Okay, let me think about that actually. Okay, so in the you have left, probably a month, maybe less, you notice that with the lights in the proximity of this settlement, Shamash, you notice it mostly because you spent so much time here. The people here start becoming brighter as well. They start becoming more resourceful. The things that they've made, these gas masks and the flamethrowers that they use to keep themselves alive, they start having genius little instincts and ideas and improvements to just make things work better.
It's like evolving.
Yes.
Cool.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Yep. And that's it's very similar to what you remember your training with the Institute, where all of the leaps and bounds in technology that your society made came with the power of the light of creation.
Oh.
Oh shit, dude.
Oh. Okay.
So the end comes. Do all of you load up in the ship, or does anybody stay behind?
I want to stay behind, but I got killed last time.
That's the toss-up. Are you going to stay behind and get killed and then reappear on the ship, or do you just want to go with the ship?
I mean, why would you want to willingly die? Just
Well,
That's a
the
good
thing.
question.
That's the thing. Something else. I could learn something else that we can take with us. So I'm not afraid to die.
I'm. Here's where I'm torn, because when Kravitz talked about the numbers, Yugon died the most, so I feel like obligated to have him, for some reason, get lost and end up.
This is literally just flavor.
Oh, so we're not going to learn anything?
Correct. This is the very end, so it's just a toss-up of whether you feel obligated to stay with these people because you have the light. This world isn't going to die. It's gonna be rough, and they're gonna get fucked. But you're taking the light away. The hunger is not going to get it, and this plane is not going to get consumed.
Oh, in that case, I don't give a shit. I'm staying on the ship.
I mean, for that reason, I want to like make them feel better before I go.
Okay.
So I'll probably stay with them as like a thank you and just meet everyone back on the ship.
Okay.
Like, saw, dude.
Anybody else hanging out?
What was
Yeah,
my relationship
I'm
with
gonna
the little
commune
dudes
with
again?
the
hung with them the most.
Myconids. That's what they're called, right?
Yes, I didn't hear what Michael said. What?
I was just asking what my relationship with the little dudes was pretty strong.
Yeah, you're basically the go-between if they need something from you guys. Like Luke keeps fucking shooting fireworks off of the top of their town hall. Can you not do that, please?
Solidarity. I'm gonna stay with them.
So everybody except me.
Well, someone's got to bring the light, so I mean,
And Onir, you said you were also staying with the Myconids?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with them, commune with them, let them know what's happening, and then giving them the understanding shit's gonna be rough for a while, but you'll
Guys,
survive.
y'all gonna get fuck up.
Okay. So Yugon takes the light onto the ship, and Lucretia goes. Alta, I think Alta goes up to you, Onir, and hugs you very tightly. And I don't know if this is the first time either one of you have died, but she kisses your forehead and tells you to be safe,
Aw.
and goes back up onto the ship.
It's like I'll see you when we get out the barrier. So
You hear her squeak. It's like so cute from you guys.
like inner me is just like wow, gay, but
Loop walks up to you, Shamash, and she looks around, and she flicks you on the forehead and says, see you in like 10 minutes, nerd lord.
Love you too, Loop.
She kind of does a sketchy salute and saunters up onto the ship.
And you say sketchy salute. Does that involve middle fingers here?
and when you say saunter, how much hip swaying are we talking about?
A little, like a noticeable amount, not like over dramatic, but
But just enough to be sassy. I got you.
she kind of flicks her tail at Onir. Don't let him die too bad.
Too bad. I'll refrain from setting him on fire.
I'll do my best. Don't worry.
I'm gonna die faster than all of you.
It's not a competition.
I believe that.
Pardon. Okay, so this world is going to talk about you guys for a long time. How do you hunker down?
In a circle, telling them that I love them.
Aww.
Like
Okay.
big group hug pile talking
Okay.
over here.
And like I think having the light of and Shamash and all of you knowing what's coming, you probably help them like fortify their houses and shit.
Oh, of course that too, but I meant like when it's actually coming, I'm gonna
Yeah.
hug the crap out of all of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So here's what I think happens. Their town hall, their main place, ends up being the most structurally secure. So Evie and Shamash, as you're staying with them, Shamash, are you going to say anything?
Yeah.
Okay. So as the hunger starts crashing down around you, searching, and as you guys who are staying with the humanoids hunker down in the town hall, what do you two say to them?
Do you want to go first?
What'd you say? She broke up a little bit.
What do you say to them as you're hunkering down?
It's gonna get rough. It's gonna get bad. But you'll live. You'll be stronger for it.
I thought you were going to make that rhyme for a second.
Evie?
She says, always believe. As long as you have light and love, you'll survive.
Oh, and don't forget what I taught you. If anybody wrongs you, punch them.
Thank you for ruining that very special moment about light and love.
That is something Shamash would teach. God damn it.
Yep. And Onir, what do you say to your mushroom friends?
I guide everybody that they can to like the thickest part of like the mushroom forest.
Mhm.
I tell them to be strong, be safe, trust in one another, and if all else fails, fight back.
And as you guys are saying this stuff, as the ship passes through and out of this plane of existence, all three of you spin off into threads of light and dissolve as they chase their way back up into the sky through the darkness, through the stars, and all appear back on the ship, ready to begin your next cycle.
Hi guys.
Yo.
Greetings.
I walk over to my bag of candy and stuff a handful into my mouth and say, it helps with the death thing.
And Sildar's like, from what I can tell, you guys didn't even die this time around, so I'm not sure. And Loop's just like, let him have this one.
I mean, I was gonna make an excuse to eat candy anyway, so...
Oh, and just as a little bit of flavor, at least for me, all of the sign language and gestures and shit that I've learned with the Myconids, I'm actually going to record.
Okay. Cool. Plant sign language.
Exactly.
Oh, did we earn any bonds or assets or anything?
Yes,
Delay or anything?
I would say go ahead and everyone mark 1 bond and Evie mark 2.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm up to 3.
I got 2.
I got 4.
I'm on the board.
Yay! Okay. So over the next several cycles, you have a lot of hits and a lot of misses. I'm not going to make those matter from a narrative perspective, but it's always a 50-50 toss-up whether you're even going to be able to find the light at all. Sometimes it just falls completely on the opposite side of the planet and you just can't find it at all.
Well, that sucks.
This is one of those times. You fly into cycle number 17, and a few days afterwards, you don't even see the light when it falls. Sildar does his best to triangulate it, but it's in the wrong hemisphere from you. There's no way you guys are going to be able to find it.
Uh-oh.
You spend some time investigating, and at first you almost write the whole place off as completely uninhabited, which you haven't ever found an empty plane before. You've never just shown up and nobody's been there to welcome you. You do find the ruins of a fairly advanced, but all of these cities have decayed for several hundred years. For weeks, there's not a single sign of a living person. But you keep persevering, and you finally run into faint signs of life from a very intriguing set of ruins that centuries ago must have been a spectacular city. The whole place is overrun with grass and moss and vines, but the city is a complex masterpiece of architecture. It's got tiered districts that rise up and up into the sky and down into this completely overrun gulch. There's a river that falls into this gulch in a beautiful waterfall, and the lowest tiers are all completely flooded. But the city itself is still unbelievable and marvelous, and it's made even more unbelievable by the fact that the residents are robots.
That's amazing.
They're not specialized worker drones like the kinds you've been starting to get used to on your homeworld. They're not fucking robots. But they're people. They're living out their lives. They have homes. They fake eating meals. They go on dates. Some of them look married. They're very nice and welcoming to you. And they emote, or they try to, as if they very clearly know what emotions are supposed to mean. And every single one of them has a brilliantly glowing fuse planted in their chests.
So you said they had a what in their chest?
A bright white glowing fuse, almost like the fuse inside of a light bulb.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Very, very interesting.
So, the light is off the table for this particular cycle. What are you going to spend your years on?
I want to learn the history, like how the heck they got here, if they were made, if they made each other, like what the heck happened here.
Okay.
How much exploring have we done when we first got here?
Mostly you always spend the first month or two just doing flyover recon. You don't do a lot of in-depth exploring until you find a safe place to set down.
Sweet, so that means I can go city searching.
You absolutely can.
City searching, that's Shamash.
Okay, we'll get around to what exactly you're looking for later, but I definitely want that to be a thing you're thinking about. So we have robot history. We have exploring. What else are we doing?
Can I change mine to robot history / bonding with the fam? As in
Bonding-
each other.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll do a little bit of both.
Excellent.
I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go with Shamash and do some, robot exploring, like robot city exploring.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and we'll just say we'll say that you're different things to make that successfully actionable.
Oh, am I last to pick something?
Yes.
Let's see, robot history / bonding, exploring. There's ruins and stuff that are flooded, and are they abandoned or something, or are they like?
Yes, the lower levels of this flooded through and completely abandoned. Everyone that seems to live here seems to live up on the highest couple of tiers.
I had a little bit of an idea, and that's like I wanted to search for again like magical / like material items to bring along, and if the water's murky, I think I still have those like glowy mushrooms that I'm gonna throw in there just to kind of to kind of glow and let me see better in the water.
I mean, sure, we'll go with that. I like that too much to tell you no. Okay. So we have a team of 3 who's going looting. I think first we'll go ahead and start out with Eviana. And Evie, Lucretia is actually in going along with you with this.
She's what?
Lucretia wants to come along.
Oh, cool.
She says, I've lived my entire life writing down other people's stories, and there's still part of me that worries that one of these years we're not going to make it either, and if that happens, all of their stories are just going to die with us. I want to make sure that someone remembers.
That's true. But also make sure that your story will be remembered as well.
And she kind of shuffles her feet. I'm a story weaver. I don't have a story of my own.
Everyone has a story.
And so you go off and start trying to get in touch with these robots and learn a little more about them. I'd say go ahead and roll hard for that.
Hell yeah. I was about to do a 1d6. That would have been bad.
Okay. All right. So you can tell that they're keeping stuff from you. There's stuff they're not telling you. But there did used to be many, many more people here. This was a rich and highly advanced world, and this in particular was the richest and highly advanced city, at least in this nation. Like, if you as players remember the hyper-futuristic Neverwinter in Lucas's laboratory,
Yeah.
that was this city.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I assumed as much.
Yep. The nation was affected by a massive plague, but the only 2 factions that were really trying to work to prevent it were dedicated to saving either the best and brightest or the richest and most powerful people. And even though they did make a solid effort, most of their efforts were in vain. Eventually,
Oh,
eventually,
I just had a question. Are they talking about like legit humanoids or just the robots?
they were humanoid before.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So
Yeah. No, it's all good. I thought I had specified that. No, they used to be humanoids,
okay.
but after the plague decimated most of the population, one underground faction finally figured out that the only way to save everyone was to convert all of their organic matter into mechanisms to pull the spirits out of the dying they could save and everyone who was left into something that could hold them all.
Like Noelle. Oh, sorry. I just got really fucking excited.
And so there's a control gem that they kind of spend time in when they're not in their robot bodies, and they can leave whenever they want and inhabit those bodies and then return to the gem as soon as they're done and want to go back to being with each other in that sort of more spiritual way.
Lucky.
And Lucretia spends most of her time writing all of this down, taking down all of these histories. And because of that, go ahead and mark a bond.
Yay! All right. I have 5
So-
bonds.
Yep. So, looters, what exactly are you looking for?
I specified.
I'm just
mine,
looking
so-
for anything of immediate importance and anything really exciting because I'm going through as many buildings as I possibly can.
I'm looking. I'm actually looking for like archives of like, you know, what the civilization was. You know, like marked down in history.
Okay.
You know, just like anything of importance, old technology, old anything, books, letters,
Okay.
just
All right.
signs of civilization of a civilization that once was.
Cool. You gone?
Oh, I thought I specified
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
materials,
Oh.
rare materials, or magical stuff.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. So, all of you go ahead and roll plus mind.
Minus me.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh,
You're correct, Abby.
all of us roll plus mine.
Yes.
Be Jen.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's pretty clear to you guys that you don't need to do anything with the levels that people actually live on. You go just one tier down, nobody's touched that shit for ages. There's all kinds of stuff just lying there fallow. It's hard to figure out what's actually still viable versus what's just junk. But, and I think Loop and Sildar come with you guys, because Sildar is interested in finding things that could potentially repair the ship, and Loop is just bored out of her fucking mind. So, as you guys go picking over the remnants down there, you end up finding a couple of, like, Shamash, you find a fairly powerful weapon that you can go ahead and mark one asset.
Sweet.
And Loop is like, dude, I want one.
And I'm like, dude, you're not getting it.
I'm older than you. I get it by right of age.
4 minutes. 4 fucking minutes.
That's 4 minutes you weren't in the world.
Oh, got him.
So that's one asset you guys can take. Onir, there's a lot of what's left has been corrupted. Most of the paper records have long since rotted away, and anything technological has been either exposed to the elements, or there's nothing still functioning to play them.
Right. Okay.
But I do think you find I think you do find one of those, a smaller version of crystal you remember Eviana telling you about. And you and Sildar recognize that that could be helpful as a kind of power source. And you guys can go ahead and mark. You can go ahead and mark one asset as well.
One asset.
Hugon,
Hi.
you're looking specifically for
arcane stuff, materials that could be used for crafting, and I'm using the glowy mushrooms to light the water underwater.
Okay. Awesome. So, as you're traveling around through this, it's very hard to travel on not many air pockets, but you do find what looks like the entrance to a massive, massive laboratory. And even just scattered outside of it are several bits and bobs of machinery that you don't quite recognize. But there's plenty of material that could be scrapped and used for parts, used for anything else.
Ooh, yeah.
So you go ahead and mark 2 assets for that.
For the record, I swam like entirely clothed, including my robe, because it would have been inappropriate to like strip down.
Nice. Okay. So Hugon comes back to all of you with news of this place that he found. And Alta points out that it might actually be a fairly investigate that laboratory and see what else might be in there. So Sildar agrees to stay and through all of the rubble, see what's actually usable, and that way the ship.
You're cutting out a lot.
Heck. Hold on.
Alrighty.
Bloop.
I know.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. So, how much did you catch of that?
Nothing.
Okay. So Alta decides that it might be a good idea to actually investigate this submerged laboratory you found, since if Hugon found that much shit just lying around the outside, there's no telling what might be in there. Sildar agrees to be the one to stay with the ship. That way he can also go over all of the collections and see what might be useful among what you've gotten. And so the rest of you, this is down to one of the last 3 months. You guys get everything set up, and you take a trip.
Nice little day trip.
Is it a picnic?
Well, it's hard. It's kind of hard to bring food underwater, even with loot being magic.
Oh, come on! Is this the underwater level and I don't have my I'm so mad.
This is not the underwater level, I promise.
Thank God.
Besides,
This
this is before we even got all of our stuff anyway.
This is like
this is
the
the
soda
underwater
water.
level, and I have an underwater breathing thing, and I never get to use it. I'm gonna be pissed.
No. Okay, so Luke makes sure she casts breathing spells so that all of you can get through. You end up having to, like, Evie and Alta have to flex a little bit and get some fairly heavy pieces of machinery moved out of the way to actually get through this collapsed-in laboratory. It's... For a place of science, it's still absolutely stunning. It's got the same lovely, well-crafted hallways and corridors you're used to seeing on the upper tiers. They're completely flooded out with water. Eventually, you all circle around to a massive open chamber where, when you pop up from the surface, the air is incredibly stale, but it's still breathable. In the distance, down several hallways, there is a faint blue-white light and the sound of heavy footsteps pacing back and forth.
In
And-
in the underground fucking thing.
Mhm.
Footsteps in an underground flooded area.
Mhm.
Okay.
It
And
might be giants.
I get that reference. And emblazoned, like roughly painted on the walls, are symbols of a wolf howling at what looks like a moon surrounded by gear. For a couple of seconds, as you're in, what's up?
Oh no, I was just saying. Okay, it's kind of cool.
For a few seconds, there's a little bit of muttering from Alta and Loop, especially about, is this the light? It can't be the light because the light was on the other side of the world. But as you move closer, you see a massive blue crystal. This thing is like 10 feet tall by 8 feet wide. And anyone here who has any sensitivity of magic can sense a massive, just crushing presence coming from that crystal.
Ow.
Whoa!
It's giving me a headache.
It's getting me high. Nah, I'm joking. He didn't actually say that.
In the light coming off the crystal, you swear you can see under its surface faces just for a second. Just looking, peering kind of curiously out and then disappearing back into the swirl. And pacing back and forth in front of that light is a huge robot. Much bigger and much more combat ready than any of the ones you've seen before now.
And waterproof, apparently.
Fucking clunkers,
Clangers.
clangers.
The robot turns her head and she says, "So you've come. We've discussed amongst ourselves what we would do if this day ever came, but to be honest, I doubted it ever would. What do you want?"
are beautiful. Just like
Are you?
She kind of tilts her head and she says, "I've not been called that in a very long time."
well, it's true.
Are you an enemy? And I'm kind of shrinking behind everybody else.
That depends on whether you make me one.
I'd like us to be friends if we can.
Then I need to know what you want of this place.
What do we want in this place?
I'm gonna point at the crystal and ask, "What's that?"
What's that?
Elegant.
She looks up at the crystal and looks down at you, and she says, "These are my people, what is left of them. There are 385 souls in and out of this crystal. We are all that is left of this world, and I am what stands between them and destruction."
What the fuck's on the surface then?
Is that a thing you ask?
Kind of. What the fuck's on the surface then?
This is the you, especially since you're the one who collected this information, you realize this must be the control crystal.
Right.
This is where they live when they're not being robots.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. I thought the fucking ones on the surface were imposters for a moment then.
Ah, no, this is where they live when they're not in their robot bodies. This is where they come back to.
Oh, okay.
So Alta kind of gestures all of you back. And she says, "We can't let this crystal get consumed by the hunger. We can't just give the hunger an army of robots and a way of transferring more people at 8 into more powerful robot bodies. Without the light, this world is... It's gonna get bad, boys and girls. We can't do it. We have to destroy the crystal."
Destroy.
Oh,
and Alta says, I know, but there's no guarantee we'll be able to take it with us. There are minds in there, and you know what happened the last time we tried to bring thinking things with us. The robot kind of turns her head towards the group of you.
Oh god.
Then she walks over to a pile of rubble and she picks up a rather large chunk of a rebar and starts doing effortless spins and twirls with it. She does not say a word.
she's just swinging this fucking rock around.
It's a long, pretty hefty rod of metal.
Oh, okay.
Like industrial rebar, the metal they put into concrete to stop the metal
Right.
from dying.
Ah,
Right.
shit.
It's like a dance, really.
I get the
Scary
feeling
dance.
try and kill us.
She says, "Your body language deceives you."
My body language is saying like, "Hey, what's up, pretty mama?" So I don't know what part of that is lying.
Loop says, that's not right. We can't just eradicate all the people who are left on this entire planet. Are we just going to burn every world we can't save just to keep the hunger from getting its hands on it? How does that make us any better than it?
I agree.
Right.
Alta kind of shakes her head and goes, I don't know if it's a risk we can take. And Loop straighten her shoulders and she says, "You're telling me that it makes sense to kill this entire world just so our enemy doesn't get stronger. That's what you, Captain, are telling me."
Ooh. Ooh, that fucking bitterness.
Okay. Tensions are starting to get a little high, so how about we take a step back and breathe?
I second Shamash on that.
Can I go hang out with the robot?
Sure.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna go do that.
Okay. Loop goes with you. And Alta reaches out to try to grab her shoulder, and Loop like throws her off and marches up and goes, "So hey, robot friend, this thing is coming, and we don't know exactly what it does, but it's going to eat your entire world. Do you want to wreck your entire civilization, or are you, cool?"
Oh,
Dives behind O'Near.
Also, I think I should teach you Tai Chi. It'd be very relaxing.
It's not the dive.
She's just like rubbing Loop's shoulders, by the way, like trying to get her to be less tense.
So what are you guys, what is your plan? How
My
are you
plan
going to
is
defuse
not
this
to
situation?
fucking smash the crystal, so I'm with Loop on this one.
yeah, that's bad.
Okay, so
Yeah,
what are
I'm
you
gonna-
going?
I'm just gonna talk with Alta a little bit. I'm just like, listen, I understand what you're saying. I hate to say it, but Luke does kind of have. But like, there are other ways that we can try to see if we can circumvent.
I don't know that we have that luxury. You've seen what happens to those worlds. We don't know what power that's going to give it. I'm not going to back down on this. I can't see another option that will make sure that they don't get any more powerful than they already are.
It's like I was like, I do understand, but it's more. The thing is making them understand the hardest part. Because we can go ahead, we could take this out, we could take her and destroy this crystal, no problem. But what would that turn us into?
And Lucretia cuts in and says, O'Near is right. We don't know what happens to the worlds consumed by the hunger. They could still be alive in there. We could still save them. This has to be the point where we decide who we are. And we can't be the type of people who could destroy an entire world for any reason. That can't be us. We can't do this.
I'm not going to throw an entire civilization away on an idea.
It just seems way too cruel of a thing to even consider. I mean, these are all innocent people that we're gambling with.
Fuck, I was looking for this. Jesus. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And O'Neill just picks up a rock.
Troth is like, I'm glad you found what you came for.
No, it was just like ever since like last night. I've been looking for like since I've been a little bit sick and my lips have just been like super chapped. And I have like some chapstick somewhere. I'm just like, where the fuck is it? And then I look on my desk and I'm like, oh shit, there you are.
It's a rock. It's canon.
Nice.
Oh god.
You have a friend rock now.
I have a pet rock.
Is
yeah.
his name Wilson?
His name is Wilson, yes.
Christ. Okay, so what are you going to say to this robot? Whose name I said before I forgot that you didn't ask for her name yet.
What is your name?
The robot straightens and puts the rebar down like she's been spinning it like a quarterstaff. She's very clearly very handy with this thing. My name is Troth.
That's a beautiful name.
I was once a member of the order that fought to save these people, and I am going to continue fighting no matter the enemy.
Well, do we have the enemy for you?
So, go ahead and roll plus heart to see if you can convince her. What exactly are you trying to convince her of right now?
I'm trying to convince her that we have to fight, like, including her, bring her into the conversation, not just, like, make a decision without her, because these are her people, of a way that we can try to ensure their safety without fucking destroying them.
Okay, so go ahead and roll plus heart, since you're the one that's over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So she kind of looks all of you over and tilts her head particularly at Alta, who does not bend, just keeps meeting that look, and she says, "The decision is not up to me. I will speak with my people, and we will come to a consensus."
As it fucking should be.
She retreats back into that crystal and kind of shakes her head and says, "What if it doesn't work?"
I'm sorry, who says that?
Alta does.
Oh, okay. I thought the
Okay.
robot did.
What if it doesn't work? It's like, well, if it doesn't work, then that's where it ends for us.
And you're all right with that?
I'm not. I'm honestly not all right with this, but I'm not really wanting to destroy hundreds of people on an assumption. And I understand where you're coming from this. I really do, Mom. It's just we don't have all the facts.
She lets out a very long breath.
And you know this.
And eventually she turns away. After some time, Troth comes back, and maybe 2/3 of the people have agreed that they will reside in the crystal and leave, but the rest of them want to stay. So over the next month or two, there's a lot of logistics, there's a lot of back and shuffling people as those who choose to stay behind go to the bodies that they are now going to inhabit permanently, which is kind of a scary thing, and you have to talk them through a lot of it, because it's been centuries since any of them felt this impermanent. This impermanent. And as the final weeks start closing in, Troth tells you all that she's going to stay.
Okay. Okay.
That is very brave.
These are my people. And as always, I will fight to protect them.
Respect.
Kaylin, you're doing what you said not to do. Get attached to these people.
Sorry, I'm getting attached to the robot.
Robot ladies. Future Yugon, like, but can ya fuck them? And Troth, like, and Troth, like, what kind of fool builds a robot you cannot fuck?
Hey! This is my girl right here.
And present Yugon is just like, do you guys have to be so, like, lewd?
Lewd. So you leave for the last time carrying the crystal, and the robots you pass greet you and salute you, and there's almost it's a parade. There's kind of a mournful air, but they're doing their best to stay positive, to celebrate. And as the ship lifts away with the crystal now on board, you see Troth standing there with her rebar raised in the air, waving farewell to all of you.
Glad we didn't fight her.
And in the space, as you're leaving, as the hunger starts to drop in over this world, Loop turns to all of you and she says, the stuff I said back there with the crystal, that wasn't just talk. I believe that one of these times we're going to get it right, and we're going to find a way to defeat the hunger and save everyone inside of it. I have to believe that to keep doing what we're doing, because I have to believe that I'm going to get those $15 back from Greg fucking Romalthus.
Oh my god.
From who?
It's a running joke that Loop is like, she's spoken to the speaker before we left, and she said that somebody fucking owed her $15, and she's coming back for them.
Your priorities are very interesting.
My priorities are just fine, thank you. But she's kind of grinning.
But she's right. I mean, how many times have we died over and over again?
And it has to eventually, and it will. We're going to find a way. And Alta finally, she's been kind of standing at the helm, and she finally sighs and turns around and says, I want to believe you. I do, and I'm going to try much harder. I don't want anyone else to go through what we've been going through. We don't know if there's suffering inside of that thing.
It's our only option.
And Luke cuts in again and says, it got dark. We got dark down there. You got dark, and this journey has been hard. I don't even remember how many years it's been, 17, 18. It's only going to get harder, but we can't allow ourselves to get to that place again, to even think about destroying an entire world. We need to promise each other right now that we will not let one another get to that place, never again. And she holds out her hand.
Put my hand on her hand.
I'm gonna put my...
Sildar drops his hand on as well.
He eagerly throws hand on.
Lucretia
Okay,
joins
alright.
in, and Alta comes in from the helm as well.
Yay! All right.
Yay! Now you've made a peace pact.
Peace packs.
This is our
Where's
pact to get Loop's $15 back.
And buy the best Kush with it.
I mean, for what you can get for $15 at least.
That's
Fuck.
exactly the point.
Yes. Okay, let me change to my next page of notes. Pardon me.
Oh, this is so much fun. I'm having a great.
We're moving faster than I thought again, but I'm gonna wing the shit out of this. It'll be awesome.
Fly, Gwen, fly.
Yay.
I can see you up there.
So this brings you guys around into cycle 21.
Oh, dear God.
Well, out of
And-
100, that's not a lot.
In this cycle, the 8 of you bring the Nova down on what, again, seems to be a completely uninhabited world. This one is mostly ocean. It seems like it's only 5% landmass. There are faint signs of civilization that might have been there, but unlike the robot world, these are long since grown over to or drowned under the sea to the point where they barely exist anymore. What?
Sorry, I'm whispering to myself, are there mermaids?
You, in a rare stroke of luck, when the light of creation, a day's travel from where you are,
Oh, shit.
you find the light and you recover it within a day, and now you have an entire year to yourselves in a fairly nice tropical world.
Vacation!
And at Alta's suggestion, you decide to take a break and have a mental health year. You work together to what?
Oh, I'm just mumbling. This is gonna be so much fun.
You work together. You build a large, fairly comfortable shelter right beside the Nova on the beach, and you have a mandatory beach episode.
Beach episode!
Yeah!
Hell yeah, filler!
The best ones! Will love be had? Question mark.
So,
Will we bury Shamash in the sand? Probably.
will he be cognizant of it? Probably not. So, how are you going to spend your beach episode?
First, do we have any swimsuits, or do we have to make them ourselves?
That's a good question. You probably didn't bring swimming clothes with you, so you're probably going to be swimming either in your underwear or skinny dipping, or somehow making swimsuits out of goddamn tree leaves and shit.
I'm gonna make like a thong out of like very thin tree leaves,
That's hilarious.
So,
like palm wisps. I'm gonna do the whole thing. Coconuts, like the coconut shavings for like bra straps. It's gonna be great.
Nice. Do you make these for everybody else too?
I mean, if they want them, but it's very scandalous. I don't see Lucretia wanting one, but I'm offering my services to all.
I'll stick with my underwear, thank you.
I'm sticking with my underwear, but also taking it a step up by getting one of my spare robes, like tearing the sleeves off and making a makeshift like swimwear to further
If
cover.
you wanted me to make you
lower
a
half.
speedo, I could have done so.
I don't.
Just-
I don't want my legs that exposed.
Your legs are beautiful, Yugon. Don't be.
Mm, but Loop's here, and Lucretia will get mad at me.
Oh, it's okay.
Loop sticks her head in and is like, dude, you have awesome legs. Show them off. Do it.
Yeah, do it. How about I make you one, and if you don't like it, you don't have to wear it.
All right.
Gotta put loving effort into this fucking banana hammock, I promise.
Okay, so you're going to be doing like artsy craftsy shit for this year, I'm guessing?
Well, I mean, just like for the moment, I'm gonna be going like swimming and making drinks and beach times, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
I got what I want to do. I'm going to. going to use the time just to build up my physical fortitude by just swimming a lot, like swimming back and forth and challenging Lucretia to races.
I'm kicking it with Sildar.
Sure, I think politely declines.
I challenge Loop then.
Aggressively
Like-
accepts.
Loop's like, you're on, sucker. And I actually want to say this right off the bat. All of you are going to have a year that is kind of narratively your year.
Oh, sweet.
So, Onir, I already have a thing planned for you. So let's kind of get everybody else's stuff out of the way first.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend all my time with Sildar. And Yugon and Shamash. And Onir if he wants, but he's...
So basically, everybody.
No, not everybody. Well, mostly everybody. But...
So you're team bonding here.
yeah, mostly Sildar, though, because we're supposed to be best friends or something, right?
In the picture you looked pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be as close as possible.
And then
Okay.
and then
Like,
they start
super
making out.
glued.
Then they start making out randomly.
Hopefully.
Sildar kind of he at first he kind of wants to just kind of stick to the shelter and read books and stick with the ship, but I think eventually I can't swim. There's really no reason for me to be out there.
I want to fucking teach him to swim.
Okay.
That's so cute.
Okay, and since there's nothing really riding on each other this time, Evie, go ahead and roll. Go ahead, since you're doing general socializing, do plus heart.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you spend this year just devoting yourself to sticking with everyone else. You teach Sildar how to swim, and he's like eternally grateful for it, even though he never really progresses past doggy paddle.
As long as he doesn't drown, it's okay.
You spend some time with Alta, who has sort of started playing with very light illusion magic, and you spend some time like giving her pointers, and for all of the effort you spend just trying to make sure everyone comes closer together, go ahead and take 2 bonds.
Yay! I have like 1 asset, but that's okay. I'm getting big in bonds.
Shamash,
Yo,
what you doing?
I'm either spending time with Loop or I'm going into the water and catching progressively more fish as a challenge.
Hey, I've been waiting for this. It's just a fish.
Okay. So go ahead and roll plus body. And I think Loop does spend a lot of time out there with you.
But she's just better at it.
No, okay. So you get a pretty good size, and the 2 of you work together trying to wrangle these suckers, and you never quite get the really fucking massive fish you see out there, but one of the fish you do catch at some point, you cut it open for dinner, and it has some kind of ring that is swallowed. And it turns out the ring is magical, so go ahead and mark an asset.
Nice.
Sweet.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Yugon, what's up?
Challenging Loop to swim.
Oh yeah. So while while Eviana and frickin' Sildar are off in their corner with the floaties that Evie fucking crafted from hollow coconuts.
And Shamash is probably just like sitting back in like a makeshift like hammock, like fishing, and this is happening like right in front of him.
Yup. So you challenge Luke to a swim. Go ahead and roll plus body.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Did I actually succeed?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude, no one knows how you did it. Even Sildar is like, how? What?
Ah! It's like aggressive. It's like beyond doggy paddle. It's like the most aggressive doggy paddle to the point he's like motorboating it.
This is like butterfly stroke action.
Oh.
You should try for the Olympics.
They don't exist in this continuity.
You know when they eventually invent them.
Loop is like, she's clearly like, that's not fair. You were cheating somehow. I was going easy on you. There's no way we would have done that if I had been using my full power.
She was.
I gave him swimming lessons. Kind of encouragement pat to Sildar.
And Sildar's like, don't get me involved in this, please.
Hey, I'm no like professional wizard or anything. I couldn't have possibly cheated.
I love how his argument is, oh, I couldn't have cheated. I'm not smart enough to.
I'm not magical enough to.
And freaking Loop goes, Shamash, tell your pocket protector to shut up.
Got him!
Roasted.
Woo!
Love you, Shamash.
So is Loop still teasing everybody, by the way?
I'm in general, yes.
Okay, does she have a swimsuit?
Yeah, probably one of the ones you made her.
Okay. Loop, your swimsuit's untied.
What?
Did she look down?
Yeah.
She pulls her underwater.
Nice. Alright. So, shenanigans are had by all. Yugon, go ahead and take... Yeah, let's go with 2 bonds for that.
I managed to bond with her still, even though I pissed her off winning.
Alright. So... Luke does spend a lot of time digging around with you guys, but she also spends a lot of time out exploring. And like Shamash, you and Luke go wandering around looking for traces of these civilizations that were out there sometimes while you're fishing. And one day Luke comes and grabs Onir by the arm, and she says, "Hey, mama's boy, come with me."
Okay.
It's true, you're a mama's boy.
It makes you all the more precious, or something.
All of you just.
Yugon.
Yeah.
I found this plant. Smoke it.
Sure.
She's just lighting it up and then just inhaling from the stem.
Can we fucking talk about how Eviana and Yugon have reversed their personalities?
It's not weed. It's actually oregano.
It doesn't matter. She feels it anyway. This is how she learns about the plants. Okay.
She smokes the whole.
Well, she's got to say all of its effects first. God.
Okay.
I
Alright, so
feel-
what happens if?
I feel
love how she
kind of
doesn't even,
funny
I love how she doesn't even drink in our current day, and here she is like fucking blazing it 24/7.
And just all apprehensive, and he's like a little bit confused, and he's like, "Why do I feel so weird?" Jeez.
Have you ever noticed that the water like moves?
Oh yeah, the water does do a thing like
Like
that.
Are we moving, or is the water moving us, or are
I
we
think we're
moving the
all-
water? Oh my
I
god!
think we're all moving. What are you
Oh
talking
my
about?
god! We're moving on top of a thing that's moving on top of another thing that's moving. Oh my
Oh
god!
my head.
And Sildar's just like, stop. They're making my brain hurt.
Ow! I snorted so hard it got to the back of my throat. Ow.
Shamash, are you in on this weed smoking?
Yeah, no, these people are idiots.
Does Sildar want any?
Yes, Sildar is in there with you.
Okay, so he's getting high too. All right.
Yep.
It's a high cuddle pile. Okay, great.
And Alta just leans over and is like, just shakes her head and goes back to the ship.
You know, it would be great if we put this in some food.
Oh, Mike.
We should put this in it is candy.
Okay, so we're gonna lace his candy with drugs.
Oh,
Can I
my
actually
God.
do that? Can I actually do that?
Hey, Shamash, you want to roll a mind if you can figure out that your fucking candy is drugged?
Fuck.
Oh no, that's a mixed success. So we
So
don't
he
do-
gets
Yeah.
some in there.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I won't make you... If you'd failed, I would have made you, like, roll body to see if you could resist it. You eat, like, one piece of candy, and you start feeling it a little bit, but you can tell it's clearly been tampered with.
And we're fucking snickering about it too.
Good times were had by all.
Oh, they fucked with my candy. I'm going to eat.
Oh, but then you're just gonna get more high because it's
No,
all in my
not
body.
the candy. You.
I know what I'm saying. If you eat me, you're gonna get high.
She's got a point.
All right.
So while that's all happening, I'm gonna go start collecting buckets of water.
And Alta, I think, is actually gonna come with you because she's like, I think they deserve. I think they need a wake up call.
Don't you dare.
Oh no.
You touched my candy. After that, I had
Son
nothing to
of a
lose.
gas.
That's my candy. That's where I draw the line.
So what exactly are you doing for revenge, Shamash?
I am collecting as much water as I can. Do we have a way to chill the water?
I don't see any reason that this highly logical ship wouldn't have freezer storage for perishable rations.
Good, fantastic. So, in my quote-unquote high stupor, I'm putting some buckets of water in there, and then when they get nice and cold, I dump it on them.
And Alta absolutely helps with you, and I think she actually does some minor illusion stuff to make it look like you're standing in the conversation and just sitting there listening so that no one realizes.
Boo, bitch!
Wait for it.
Yeah.
All of you are fucking soaked in water.
My bathing suit comes off because of that.
Yeah, mine too.
This has backfired, and you don't care.
I mean, it's your fault.
And also just puts her face in her hands, and Sildar's just kind of blinking owlishly at you guys, going, "You had clothes before."
Yeah, man, everybody's doing it. Come on, try it. It's totally natural.
So he's also going to put his hands together, 2 fingers up to the sky. He's going to turn to Iviana. Kind of gesture to her up and down. Nice.
Oh my god.
Zeldar, do you agree?
And Sildar kind of, his face kind of goes red, and he's like,
He agrees.
yes.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Your clothes should go back on you.
Yeah. Where are they?
You're going to get cold.
I'm already cold.
Yeah, it shows.
I can see that.
So Ileana doesn't need to take this, so she just stands up, wrings out her hair, and just kind of like struts back to the ship. Because you know what? Fuck it.
Anyway, I'm sure O'Near and Luke
Yeah,
have some heartwarming shit.
I'm sure they're at their destination by now.
I'm sure they're getting through some heartwarming shit right now.
And meanwhile, we're just having fucking high naked party fest.
You know your candy's still laced, right? Nah.
No, I realized I wasn't giving you guys time to do anything like this, so I'm glad you took the opportunity.
It was fun.
Just yeah, he's just gonna sleep now.
Nice.
Nice.
So,
Are they real?
Oh, come on.
How would
dude.
they
Oh
be
my
fake?
god, alright.
No, I don't know how
did
to
you
use
hear
magic.
Aviana? She's all natural.
Oh baby.
Hey, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Curtains match the drapes and everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Okay. So Loop kind of like hauls Onir out, like, come on, Mama's boy, we're going on an adventure.
Best boy. Did you just call him best boy?
Mama's boy.
Oh, mama's boy. I thought you called him like hot boy or best boy or good boy.
Hot boy!
Hot boy.
Hot boys, hot boys.
Hot boy.
I'll send you guys the
fucking-
vine later if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, please send me
We-
that later.
We all know what you're, at least two of us know what you're talking
I know,
about.
because
We're fucking
hot boys are a
seagulls.
completely different definition to me.
Hot boy.
Hot boy!
Hot boy.
Hot boy.
Hot boy.
We're fucking dolls.
We are collectively a century old.
And what have we done to show it?
We're a century old and yet
Okay, so Loop kind of leads Onir a long way down the coast and into the water and casts another water breathing spell, and you head down fairly deep into what looks like the entrance to an underwater cave. And when you pass through and come up, you find what looks to be the most solid remnant of a civilization any of you have seen in this entire year. It looks like someone took the natural beauty of this underwater cavern and turned it into a literal temple. There are seats carved out of the natural wood. There is an altar carved out of what must have been a massive stalagmite. And on the wall is a mural. The mural is of a woman with long hair working a loom. And hovering over this beautiful angels spinning thread and working bobbins and passing thread up to this beautiful woman. There's also one angel with his wings spread, cupping all of them and supporting all of them. And above this mural is a symbol of the spindle off of a spinning wheel with threads running off into the distance. And Loop kind of looks at it and looks at you and says, "Family of yours?" And Onir, you recognize this imagery pretty readily. This is a mural to Istis.
Yeah, I, I do recognize. How did you? When did you find this? What?
I mean, it was a couple of weeks ago. I figured that with your angel knowledge or whatever it is you and your mom have, you'd be able to help me figure out what it is and if we can get anything from it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let me get a close look at this thing.
It's there's not really anything to it as you investigate it. It's just a fairly standard relief. It's Istis overhead and her archangel holding it up, holding up everything else on his shoulders. And Loop seems kind of nervous when you point this out.
Just like, you nervous? What's going on? Okay.
You ever think about what would have happened if you weren't picked?
Um.
If you hadn't been chosen to come on this mission, you ever think of what would have happened to you?
You know what? Now that you mention it, I don't know. I really don't know. Probably would have shared the same fate, whatever it is, with everybody else back at home, but other than that, I never really thought about it like that.
She kind of looks up at the mural and says, what if your mom hadn't been picked?
Well,
What if you had ended up here without her?
well, if that were the case, I would have still done my duty as fulfilled. Whether my mom's the captain or not, I was still picked because of my ability. And it's because of my ability that I'm here, that I'm
That,
still here.
and she kind of shakes her head and goes, that's not what I mean. She breathes in very deeply and exhales and says, Shamash almost didn't get to come. This was supposed to be a vacation, right? Just a quick jaunt out to the edge of the universe, and we'd be back in no time flat. They almost decided that we didn't need any security for what was just supposed to be a casual scientific exploration. He was going to get left behind, and he would have died if I hadn't kicked my feet and thrown a temper tantrum and threatened to quit. My little brother would be dead.
How long have you been thinking about this?
A lot. It's been 21 years. I'm never gonna get my shitty $15 back from Greg fucking Grimaldi. I'm never going to see my parents again. Not really. In all the worlds that exist, there has to be another version of them, but are they even gonna know who we are? Do we even exist anymore? Like, as close as Sildar can tell, the Bond engine unstuck us from reality, from all the realities. If we existed at all in any other planes, what if we don't anymore? And if we ever fuck this up, like really badly fuck this up, are we ever gonna get home?
Man.
Beach episode, yeah.
Mandatory beach episodes.
All right. Well, Loop, the important thing is that we stay safe, we stay alive for whatever alive really means for us, and then we just charge this thing head on. Like, I know I've been thinking about this kind of stuff too. I'm not sure when we'll be back, if there's anything to go back to, but that just distracts me from what's happening now. and we need to worry about now in the future. We can worry about everything else later, but for now, we need to figure out what's going on. We need to figure out how to stop, what's been chasing us. And then after all that's said and done, we can go and look and see what we left behind. Because if we focus too much on the past, then we're really not going to have that much of a future to.
Truth.
She kind of runs her hands down her face. And she says, I guess we technically do have infinite redos. I don't want to lose my brother, and I know you don't want to lose your mom, but we already have, and we're gonna keep doing it, and if I don't know what it is we're supposed to hold on to. I keep trying to put up a brave face, but what do we hang on to?
What we hang on to is. Excuse me. What we hang on to is. I'm sorry, I'm still getting over my cold.
I want to imagine I was in character.
Same. And Loop is just like, are you all right? Have you been swimming at night? You know you're not supposed to do that because it's stupid. Even the hippie could have told you that first thing.
Oh, so I'm the hippie now. Okay. I see.
But no, what we hang on to is our survival instinct. The fact that we have loved ones, even right now, here now on the ship, that we want to see safe and protected. So if you want to know what to hang on to them, and especially Shamash, because I know how much you guys mean to each other. And we'll just take this thing on one day at a time. Something happens, but until then, let's just watch over each other.
She kind of nods a little bit and goes, yeah, I think we can do that. Thanks. You're not half bad. Even if you are boring goody two-shoes.
Not you two. Come on.
Your mother is the captain of the ship. What else do I have to riff on here?
Oh my god.
As you guys turn away, you hear a massive sound of stone cracking. And Loop rolls around and she's already got fire in her. What's up?
I said that can't be good. And she's already got what?
She's already lit her hands the fuck up.
Oh shit. She's ready.
You turn around and you see that the mural has, but only across the bottom. Only across the face and body of the Archangel. And Loop kind of squints and goes, well, that's not cryptic and ominous at all. I feel like I should ask who that is.
Well, that's, it's just so, that would be Zaris, more like of,
Saris.
Zaris. More like a enforcer, so to speak.
Okay, well, I'm sure that's not going to come back and bite us in the ass at all.
I hope not, but it may very well be the case.
Well, you heard it here. Cryptic godly bullshit. Take one.
Come on, let's get out of here before anything else cracks.
Like your sanity?
Shh.
Or your voice? No, that would be Yugon.
Yeah, that would be you guys.
Like, have you noticed there's no way he's 18. And, like, it's been 21 years that we've been doing this.
I honestly not even sure how he even got here on the ship in the first place.
Wow, the immense amount of shit talking.
Yeah, I know, right? This makes me excited for their DM episode.
It's just like it's like the boy he barely made it through puberty, and now he's on an intergalactic, like, space mission. Like, what kind of field trip? Listen, I didn't sign up for a chaperone on a field trip now.
Oh my god.
So, I just want to point out, fuck you, and he's busy. Yugon senses the shit talking, and he's cutting up your clothes back at the ship
While still high.
while still high, and it's
Love you,
just
Joel.
clipping away all your pants and all your briefs.
Okay.
You little piece.
Excellent. So, you guys make your way back. And you spend the remainder of your year in relative peace. Loop is very clingy all of a sudden, Shamash. Like, normally she's very independent and gets away from me. But she's always, like hovering obnoxiously over your shoulder. What you doing?
I'm making a sandcastle. I do not need fucking adult supervision for this.
Are you sure? Because your sandcastle kind of falls apart there.
What was that?
Are you sure you don't need adult supervision? Because your sandcastle's kind of falling apart there. And she kicks it.
It's not. I
Oh,
pick her up. Then I throw her in the water. I was having a good time too.
Restrain yourself, Shamash.
hey, Onair, what happened to
You're
your
still naked
clothes?
to me, I'm sorry.
Wait, what?
You're still naked to me. I'm sorry. I thought something goes away after a night.
She just gives him a hug.
Oh man.
Hi,
And,
Onair. How you doing?
Loop, I changed my mind. I do need an adult.
I'm good.
Loop like,
John, how are you?
Loop like, but I'm only 4 minutes older than you.
4 minutes older than me. Get her off me.
Well, what did you say,
hug-
Najee?
I said I'm good, Yugon. How are you?
Oh, I didn't know you were responding to me. My bad.
It's all good.
I hug Sildar?
Sildar has been like studiously avoiding eye contact with you for the last 2 weeks.
What's wrong? Do you need help? What's happening?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's all good.
Naughty
I'm just
fox.
gonna.
He
I'm
sees
just-
you naked too.
I'm just going to go work on the engine. I'm gonna go do some magic, work on get everything up and running.
Just hook up.
And Loop goes bow chicka bow bow.
Working on engine, quote unquote.
I'm gonna follow him. I'm just gonna hang out with him.
Is that what they're calling it nowadays?
Sildar's face is bright red.
Oh no, I love you guys.
So Sildar spends most of the rest of this time like you're very much trying to avoid eye contact.
Well, very much like Loop, I'm going like, what you doing?
I'm working on the bond engine. We sort of need to make sure that doesn't fall apart on us.
That's totally weird.
Why?
I swear to God, if you've been eating my candy again.
I mean, she just kind of like lays on the engine, just kind of like hands up. I mean, if you think about it, it's so weird. It's powered by like friendship and stuff.
Who the fuck's been eating my candy?
He kind of backs away and holding up his hands and is, I mean, yes, why are you laying on the bond engine? You don't know what that could do to you.
She just lays on her side. Why not?
Because I'm working on it, and
I mean, you could stop.
He like does he does the boy.
The boy! And hands him a fucking ice cold bucket and says, "You know what?
Why don't you just like have fun for like once?
Because there's work that needs to be done,
And there's
and
fun to be had.
if someone doesn't do the work, the ship is going to fall apart at a crucial moment, and we're probably all going to die.
And if you don't relax, you're going to fall apart at a crucial moment, and we're all going to die because you're going to kill all of us.
He kind of stands there for a second with his mouth open, and then he closes it.
Got him!
Shamash walks by. You know, for an entire planet seemingly made of water, we sure are thirsty.
Oh, shut up. She's being a friend.
Yeah, friend.
And like, I think Sildar actually just fucking throws a monkey wrench at you.
Can I catch it in my teeth? Can I
No,
roll?
he throws it at Shamash.
It's Mosh.
You guys are gonna turn him into some ungodly mix of Ratchet and McCoy yet.
I'm having fun.
So he's like, I let you teach me to swim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Onir, I forgot. Mark 2 bonds for your thing.
Yay!
Yay!
A lot of bonds. Damn.
So Sildar eventually goes, I let you teach me to swim. I don't know what else you want from me.
I want you to behave like a person instead of, a robot. Hey, no, actually, the robot for civilization was a lot more lively than you are.
Face down in the sand.
Boom! What?
Loop just slides past doing a shower of sparks.
I just see her sliding by the doorway.
Water tribe.
Water tribe.
And Sildar's like, where do you people keep coming from?
You left the door
This is
open.
this is the only island on the entire planet where we live within a 20-foot radius of each other.
You got face plants in front of the door. Ow.
Watch where you're fucking walking.
I'm sorry, your giant butt was in the way.
I'll kill you.
And eventually Sildar's like, all right, okay. I guess modifying the engine can wait.
Oh, cool.
So
what
do
you
we
gonna
do
do,
now?
Sildar?
Yeah, what was up, babe?
So what you gonna do, Sildar?
Yeah, what are you gonna do now?
I don't know,
You should know.
Well,
but
I'll tell you what we're gonna do automatically.
What?
You two are on my team for the Water Wars.
Water Wars?
Water Wars.
What's that?
Loop has decreed herself the Water Mistress or something, and I don't like that. So we got a water war going on now.
Really? Whose team am I on?
joke's on you, sucker. I've got the good mark.
Yeah, well, I got the aggressive people.
Wait, she's got the good what?
The good marksman.
I'm hurt that you didn't want me on your team.
Well, you were already claimed.
What were we? Wait, were we like pre-claimed?
Yeah,
we fucking
Shamash called
sat down
dibs.
and- Yeah, it's true. I called dibs on another human being.
Oh, I was about to say fuck you, Luke, but never mind.
Oh, come on. If we get all the girl team, it won't be fair. We have to split it up.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, hang on. We have Alta, Lucrete. No, yeah, you have 5 to our 3. I'm calling you on a girl.
Roasted.
Not even roast.
Is that
Okay.
the term? Is that the term?
I'm gonna
that the
drop
kids
all your
use?
candy down into the sea like an anchor.
And I'll drown you.
I know a way we could settle this.
Hmm?
A chicken fight.
Sure.
Christ. I'm not making you roll for your chicken fight.
Body.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so everybody go ahead and mark an extra 2 bombs.
Yay!
Because this has been good shit.
I'm surprised I'm getting mods
You've been participating.
by face planning.
not being able to think, not being good at thinking on your feet doesn't mean you're not participating.
I'll throw your candy in the ocean, and I'll drown you.
Yeah, but even if I die, I'll come right back.
Fair.
I know.
So you spend your year doing exactly this kind of bullshit. And what do you guys do on your last night? Like there's a bonfire, and Shamash and Loop go out and catch a shit ton of fish, so you have a big old roast, and Evie finds all kinds of vegetables. There's a massive like hot pot stew. It's awesome. How are you spending this last night together before the hunger comes?
So I'm assuming we're all at the bonfire together.
Yes.
What's the mood? Is it morose? Is it...
That literally depends on you guys. You are setting the mood right now.
Oh, I have a kind of question for you as a DM. Did we know each other before we all got signed up?
That's up to you. Do you think you did?
I don't think Eviana knew anybody.
I mean, I just met Loop on this mission.
You got only knew Lucretia coming into it.
Okay. So
I think, pretty sure no, go.
Okay. It totally blows that we've been dying repeatedly and are chased by some sort of space monster, and everyone we know is probably dead, and any resistance we try to make usually ends up in failure and repeating the same process again. But you're all a lovely group of people, honestly.
I'm already fucking depressed. Thank you for that.
I'm trying to tell you, regardless of the situation, I'm glad to be here.
And Alta kind of ducks her head a little bit and says, "This isn't what any of us signed up for." I'm getting all of my voice up. Hold on. I've got like half Alta, half Loop here. Hold up. Jesus Christ.
Lolta.
Newest meme, Lolta.
Walter.
I'm sure there are names. We can figure them out eventually. Alta says, "This mission isn't what any of us signed up for. I'm sure many of us would like to go back. But if it had to be this way again, I'm glad I have a crew like all of you."
Yay.
And then I throw O'Near in the fire. Okay.
No, Alta continues. It's very rare to find a crew who's willing to tell their captain when she's wrong.
Oh, I'm gonna give her a shoulder pat for that one.
And Loop says, "Well, clearly you never met me."
Our Sassimatron.
I can't turn her off.
And she goes, and she goes, "No, but I know who can turn me on." Wow.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
and she flicks, she whips over her butt with her tail.
Yeah, my face is gonna go like a little bit red. I'm just like, wait, hold on.
Oh, are you two fucking?
I don't need to hear that.
Alta just like snorts and all topples back off of her log laughing.
I mean, if you are, you're very quiet about it.
Yeah,
you need to let each other know that you're enjoying it.
My sister does not have sex.
Yes, she does. Are you
Not to me, she doesn't.
Are you not
face
part
is
of the
extremely
situation?
red right now.
Are you not part of the conversation?
No.
Okay, well, newsflash, they're fucking.
Yeah. Oner is just like covering his face. Is like, oh god, wait, Ivy, why would you say things like this?
I'm gonna glare at O'Near by
Because
the way.
you're fucking.
Alta. Alta. No, I think. Alta sits up again, and her expression is suddenly very serious. And she puts both hands on your shoulders, O'Near, and she looks very sternly into your eyes, and she says, I hope you're using protection.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna leave the room.
If you don't have any, I can provide you with some.
I'm just gonna leave the room.
Loop is losing her shit right now.
I'm gonna wrap an arm around O'Near and say, "Hey, O'Near, what do you say we take a nice, long, quiet, dark, seemingly never to return walk into the woods?"
Run! Ah, get away from me!
You get back here!
No, fuck you!
See, love is blossoming, and it's just amazing.
If you touch my sister, I'll fucking cut you open.
Ah!
And Sildar's just like, 3 seconds ago, we were talking about how amazing a crew we are, and now we're acting like 12-year-olds. Life.
I mean, do you want to act like a 12-year-old?
Not particularly.
You're no fun.
No, I'm not fun. That's the point of me being here. Someone has to actually pay attention.
That's true.
But you could be fun.
I guess.
So you have the potential.
Bless your fucking heart, Ivy. You are trying so hard with this shit.
He's making it difficult.
He goes, you know what I find fun? I like working on machines. I like making things function. I like making things work. And I like solving problems.
That sounds fun.
When it works. There's nothing to solve out here. We're just here, and I don't know what to do myself. I'm not making myself useful, so what's the point of me being here?
Do you have a problem with just existing and being happy? Does everything always have to have a problem?
I guess not.
Pinch the cheeks. Don't worry. Be happy.
So, as fucking Onir and Shamash are chasing each other around,
This is a very one-sided chase, by the way.
Extremely one-sided. I'm just like, we haven't even done anything yet. What do you mean?
And I'm gonna make sure you never do!
This is news to me too, goddammit!
What were you gonna say, Gwen?
you notice that Lucretia excused herself from the bonfire like an hour ago, maybe. She said she'd be right back, and it's been a while. You now see her coming down the gangplank of the ship, carrying a fairly large rectangle covered in a canvas throw. She's kind of struggling with it, and she's like, Yugon, do you mind helping me carry this?
Of course. And he helps.
Don't worry. Be happy.
He's like all too eager to run away from everybody else.
You've missed a lot, Lucretia. 95% of it involves attempted murder.
Somehow I'm not surprised. She brings the canvas covered thing down near the fire and props it up and looks around and looks down at you, Yugon, and says, "Well, have you enjoyed your vacation?"
For the most part, yes.
That doesn't sound very convincing.
It's better. It's better with you and Loop and Ivy than others. The other guys kind of freak me out a little bit, except Sildar. Sildar's all right. But then
You're young yet. And she kind of looks down at you, and she says, "In a way, I'm almost glad you didn't fill out your forms honestly."
Oh.
Me.
She kind of smiles and shakes her head and goes, "You're still a child." You don't belong on this ship, Yugon. It doesn't surprise me that you don't feel at home here. You're in a room of adults, trying your best to also be an adult, suffering all of the same things that we've been through. I'm glad you're here because it meant you don't have to suffer the way the people we left behind have. And I'm proud of you. I just wanted to make sure you know that.
Aw.
And just like big squeezy hug because
Lucretia kind of pats your head and tosses up your hair. Says, "All right, now get out of here before I get tempted to read you a bedtime story."
Okay, Mom.
Okay, Mom.
Because, spoiler alert, Yugon's only 15.
What?
Okay, I knew he lied. I didn't know he lied that much.
Yeah, holy
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
That explains why I wanted his lunch money so bad.
This also explains how many infractions of harassing a minor that Shamash has fucked up.
You're gone.
Yes.
I'm disappointed. I shouldn't have given that drug to you. You're a child.
It's...
We should have started you on some lighter shit first.
I would have eased you into it.
I mean, you've
And
been...
Lucretia just kind of goes stern mom face and gave him what?
Nothing. No, nothing. I gave him a stern talking to.
How to take drugs?
No, on the importance of taking his vitamins because there's no nutrients out here. There's barely anything. Have you seen his skin? He looks patchy.
I thought you said my skin looked nice.
You look patchy.
I am... Yeah, my skin is
Because I'm
horribly patchy.
trying
My skin
to
looks horribly
tell
patchy.
Lucretia about how your vitamins are important.
Sildar just at this point just has his face. I'm out of conversation.
Don't you fucking leave me.
Glomp hug Zivy.
So yes, your vitamins are important, yes?
Yes, they are important.
Exactly. See, it's fine. I'm a doctor. I know what I'm doing.
And he whispers, "Are you really a doctor?"
I think so.
You think?
Christ. Okay. So once everyone gathers themselves back around the fire, Krisha moves over to this tarp that she has thrown over the thing, and she's been kind of kept to herself this year and almost a little secretive. She'll come out and she'll have a little fun, but she's spent most of the time up in her room in the ship instead of with you guys.
Wait, who did?
Lucretia.
Lucretia. And as this final blowout party winds down, Lucretia pulls the tarp off of this thing she brought out, and she reveals a portrait of all 7 of you wearing your uniforms, standing here in this world. And for the first time in 21 years, all of you look genuinely happy.
Aww. Is this the same portrait hanging in her room?
Yes.
Yay!
And she has you all sign the back of it right near your faces. And she says, I just don't want any of us to forget this.
Aww.
We proceed to forget it.
I
That's
know.
the joke.
We do nothing but forget it.
And with that, we move on along to cycle number 30.
Woo!
30.
Cycles.
This time, the world you end up in is incredibly rich. It's full of dozens of different civilizations and thriving nations. You've been to worlds where there are lots of people, lots of races, people you've never seen before and people you have. Sometimes even like individual people that you've known on other worlds, but different versions of them on this world. What's unique about this particular reality is that not a single one of these vibrant and thriving nations are at war.
Oh, they're at peace with each other.
We could learn from them.
We could learn.
You could learn from them.
You have a hard time figuring out where to land because there's so much life, there's so much city choking every single inch of the landmass. So you keep flying until eventually wait for the light to fall and just follow it. You eventually land in what discover fairly quickly is the organization on the planet called Tesseralia. You're greeted warmly in the capital city. You're guest. There's a brief period where several investigation agencies look into you, make sure your story is straight, make sure you're not carrying weapons. But overall, they're very accommodating. The government eventually confirms with you that yes, they do have the light of creation. It's currently in the possession of what they call the First Monastery, which is almost single-handedly entire world.
It's what?
It's single-handedly responsible for the peace in this world.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You all are brought to the monastery and you're treated to a wonderful feast full of spiced food that you've never tasted before and spiced wines, and it's absolutely just luxurious.
Oh.
And as you're dining, you meet a woman, very tall, very stately human woman, who introduces herself as Abbess Oriana. She explains to you that yes, her monastery does have the light, but she's going to need one of you to prove that you're able to handle the absolute tremendous responsibility of the power this thing clearly has. You have to prove that you won't abuse this. And she mentions that she actually already has a particular recruit in mind. And she looks directly at Yugon.
Huh?
Yeah. It's your time to shine, bud. Wakey
Shine,
wakey.
goddammit.
Wakey wakey vanilla shaky.
And he's just he looks around and looks at Lucretia, then looks at himself. Wait, me?
Oriana nods her head and she says, "You." Oh shit! I need a voice for her. Hold up.
It's good.
I didn't think this far ahead. Shit. Fuck.
You're good.
No rush.
It's all the rush. I made you wait 2 weeks and I don't even have a character voice. Okay. You are the most malleable. You have the most left to learn. You, I think, will take well to this life. Join our monastery for a year. Serve well. Show your best effort. And if you are worthy, we will relinquish the light to you.
What would I be doing in this monastery? Like, what would you?
You will be training your body, training your mind.
I mean, okay, I'll do it.
She nods her head and says, "So it is done." The rest of you may find quarters in the city, enjoy your stay, and Yugan, once you have made your preparations, come back and we will find you quarters here.
All right.
Hell yeah, second vacation part 2. Sorry, Yugon.
So, how are the other 3 of you going to spend this year?
This feels weird.
Now, this
I'm
place
actually
has
gonna let her-
special hand, right?
I mean, not candy to the level where you could gain an asset from it. Maybe. Actually, you know what? Fuck it.
Magic candy.
Go
Oh
ahead
my
and do
God.
a mind roll to see if you can find some fucking magic candy.
You
Come
upset.
on,
You
this is the one I
obsessed
get the
little.
fucking big number on.
I'm gonna hound Sildar some more because now he's shown weakness, and I
You
sense
find
it.
shit. You don't find a goddamn thing. You don't even find candy.
This place sucks.
You
This
find
place can
cake.
fucking burn for all I
You
care.
find cake. That's just insulting.
What is this? Fluffy candy? Flip.
And Loop is like, no, don't do that. It's perfectly good cake. And she like saves it and buys it and just noshes down on it.
Ugh.
Oh, come on. Pastries are clearly the superiors.
I'm not getting into this fucking argument with you again.
Why? Because I always win?
No, because it's fucking stupid. Candy
Because I always win.
is best.
Okay, you can go ahead and make your unilateral incorrect statements.
Shamash, do you like this? She just stuffed some sprinkles in his mouth. Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it?
Ah, so dried.
I was trying to reach
That's
a
what she
compromise.
He can't even stay mad. That was
Okay, no. Are you literally going to spend your entire year doing that, or do you have an actionable thing you can do?
I'm gonna fucking do something. I'm gonna do. Let's do. Let's figure out how the fuck an entire world full of civilizations has managed to keep worldwide peace.
Okay, that's actually what Yugon's part is going to address. So I don't want you to waste your year doing that.
I mean, you can legit just kick it if you want.
That's true. Come back to me. I gotta think of something worthwhile.
Okay.
Alright, what I'm going to do is actually, since Onir, he would be like really impressed with like all the food and everything. He's actually going to see if he can try to learn a thing or 3 from these people.
Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead and roll. I'd say because you're trying to learn and because cooking is a lot of thinking about stuff, recipes, figuring shit out.
It's a lot of
Go ahead.
thinking.
Yeah.
Baking
go
with
ahead.
O'Near.
Go ahead and roll plus mind.
Mind. Fuck.
It's you can't find anybody who's willing to even train you, let alone find a way to figure out how to recreate any of these dishes. And they're amazing. It's just they're spices that you've never tasted. It's a flavor profile you've never tasted before, and you have nothing to go on.
Damn it.
Plus, I think you're a peasant.
Rude.
Oh well.
C'est la vie. Evie?
What's Sildar doing?
Sildar, I think, found his way to one of the more industrial segments of the city
Mm-hmm.
and is kind of exploring, poking around, looking at the machine shops and junk.
All right, then I'll go with him because then I could be at least of some use.
Okay. Okay, so you're just going to help him look for parts for the ship and junk?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, go ahead and roll plus mind as well.
Okay.
Well, I'd say either mind to find the stuff, or heart relying on Sildar to find it and you trying to coax them down in price. What do you think?
Probably heart.
Okay, and again, if you
really
guys...
for moral support.
Right. And again, if I tell you to roll a thing and you think you can roll... If you can sell it to me, absolutely.
See, I'm here being a wingman.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, between the two of you, you managed to coax some pretty hefty metal off of a dude. Go ahead and take one asset.
Yay! Finally.
And remember, I know I keep forgetting to say this, but yeah, you guys can absolutely remember you can spend your assets to improve your roll.
Right. Those are inspiration, basically.
Ah.
I've only had one this entire time, so.
Right.
I have a shit ton of bonds, but like
Same.
no assets. I have like one asset.
These things are rare.
Excellent. Okay. So, did you have anything else you wanted to do, Shamash?
Aside from learning their culture.
Look at you trying to be cultured.
Was there any specific part of the culture you were after?
Not
Okay,
Yes.
so
about the.
just generally throwing yourself into everything.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Let's do plus heart.
Big money. Big money.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you do a lot of work, like making yourself known in this city, making yourself clear that people recognize you. You talk to people, you interact, you socialize, and Loop spends some time out there with you listening as well. But not nearly to the extent you do, so you learn a lot. And a lot of what you learn is what I'm also going. But this is all information that you'll have. And because of all of that effort, making yourself a part of this society, go take 2 bond.
Woo. This is where the egotism comes.
Not 1, not 3, 2.
2.
2.
Not 1.3, not 7.9.
And actually, really quick, can I get a rundown on where the assets are?
Oh, sure. I have 9 bonds and 2 assets.
have-
7 bonds and 3 assets.
8 bonds and 1 asset.
6 bonds and 2 assets.
Hella. Okay. Okay, cool. So, Yugon.
Hola.
This starts off pretty slowly. It's prayer for days on end. It's carrying buckets of water and shit to prove that you're patient. And what kinds of other, like, mental, spiritual training do you think you have?
What you think? I mean, what I think that they might be putting him through?
Yeah.
Let's see. Carrying water bucket. Meditate. This is very kind of like Asian-esque culture, so I'm gonna go with. There's probably like some fucking waterfall somewhere that's ice cold that they have him like try to meditate under or sit under for like an hour or something.
Absolutely. Like a whole line of acolytes and Yugon at the end in robes that are a little too big for him. Just dying.
This is
Okay.
peaceful,
So-
I guess.
So, and you also get some physical training, but go ahead and roll plus mind for me.
Free your mind. Copyright.
The rest will follow. Well, it would help if I had roll 20 open. Hold up.
Oh, thank God for +3 in mind.
Jesus. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so you take to the training pretty easily. I mean, you've had to be a runner for Lucretia for quite some time, and she's surprisingly demanding sometimes. So you're accustomed to having to do things you don't like. You're accustomed to being put in weird scenarios. And after several months of this training, Oriana calls you into her quarters. And she explains to you that the first monastery has created a technique that they've taught the rulers of every nation across this planet for decades. This technique is what has allowed all of these nations to find peace in times of turmoil. They call this power parlay. Parlay allows you to summon an entity to an extra-dimensional space that you create. Once you're in this room, you can communicate to your visitor no matter if you share a language or not. You can learn about them, you can come to an understanding. And most importantly, this is an absolute act of humility that you, as the caster, are taking. Because the person you call into this space can harm you, they can kill you, which kills you in the real world, but you have no such option. Once you're in that room, you cannot touch the other person. You become an arbiter and a peacemaker, humbling yourself and offering your life in an effort to seize whatever conflict is happening.
Oh god, I see where this is going.
One of the main centerpieces of Parlay is a key that you construct to represent both yourself and the person you've chosen to speak with. So, for the remainder of your time on the planet, you are spending time working one-on-one on it to both technique and to build a particularly odd-looking key. It has a large purple stone set in the handle and two very small black opals set near the teeth. And I should have a picture of it right about... I'm stalling because I don't know where the fuck it went.
Sounds really familiar for some reason.
It should. Considering you're the one who gave me the picture of it.
Oh, right. I do remember, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, wasn't it? This. But while the big stone is purple, the two smaller stones, the one near the teeth and the one right up at the base, are black opal.
Right.
It's in Bureau for anybody who wants to see it. So, you make it to the end of this year, and the Abbess summons all of you back to her chambers, and she reveals that she will hand over all of you only once Yugon has used this new power to contact the being chasing. She wants you to talk to the hunger.
You do know this hunger has the name hunger for a reason. It's probably hungry to eat this place. I mean, I'll do it. Fair warning?
I understand. And once you have done this, if what you say is correct, then once you take the light with you, our world will survive. There will be casualties, but we will make it. I cannot allow us to fight an enemy we do not understand. And I cannot allow you to continue doing the same.
I understand. And it just kind of looks back to the others, and it's just like, although you guys should probably stand really far back.
So are you going to wait a little bit, or are you going to do this right now?
Well, they summoned us all here to do it, or for me to do it, right?
That is true. I did say that. Shit. Okay.
Eyebrow waggle.
So, again, I want to make sure the rules of this are absolutely clear. You do this, and you can pull someone into a pocket dimension with you who you want to talk to. And at any second, they can kill you, and you can't touch them.
Yeah, I understand that. Though I'm assuming by virtue of the whole time loop or whatever that we're caught in, I'll just resurrect, assumedly.
It's a good assumption to make.
It's a good assumption. Yeah, I knew you would say that. I also, like, out of character note, when you described what parlay was, I immediately was wondering, is this the reason why his death count's so high?
We don't know, do ya?
You know what? Even though he's chaotic good right now, there's a little bit of neutral in him just waiting to come out. So it's like, he's like, all right, I guess we'll do this because, frankly, we don't know that much about the hunger itself besides the mere basics. And it's about time the kid becomes an adult really fast.
So when you cast this, you use this technique, when you cast this spell, what happens? What does it look like?
Oh god, I thought it was something that you were going to describe. I guess it's like... I imagine it kind of like how symbology would work, like like those like arcane symbols, like the circular symbols that like spawn from the ground and extend outward, and it's like a purplish arcane symbol that starts to spin. The outer circle starts to spin in the inner, and it keeps going as energy seeps upward and starts to create that pocket dimension.
Okay. All right. And all of you see this start to happen. All of these sigils swirling and spiraling. And then he's gone. You gone. You blink once and you're in the abyss, and you blink again and you're in what looks like a very fancy boardroom. You're sitting in a very comfortable, very modern chair at the head of a long table. Everything is carved out of dark hardwood, incredibly fancy, and one entire wall, just a massive window. Looking out the window, you see that you're sitting like 80 stories up. Skyscraper. And the room is there's no lights on in the room, fairly dim, but there's a sunset casting a calming orange light into this room and sending long dark shadows across the table. When you used Parlay, you were just focusing on the hunger. But the person sitting across from you looks nothing like the hunger. It's a man, or it looks like a man, except they have wings. Massive white wings that are kind of veined through with that black shot with red and blue and green. He looks like he might be in his early 50s, extremely well-dressed, sharp gray suit, thin black tie, the most expensive pair of shoes you have ever seen.
They're winged.
He looks very, very slick, and mostly he looks very, very
Very what?
surprised.
I'm surprised too, and everybody else is calm while I'm the one whose chest has seized up like an anvil.
This figure clears his throat, and he tries to speak, and for a second his voice just croaks. There's no actual sound. He tries a couple more times, and he starts looking very exact.
Hello?
Yeah, you died.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yep.
Okay. What'd you hear up to?
Bleh.
Croaks.
He tries to speak several more times and looking more frustrated.
You died again.
Yeah.
Hang on.
So, I just contacted the hunger. I'm scared, guys.
Can you hear me any better?
We'll see.
Okay, so after several moments of trying to speak and failing, a pitcher of water and a glass just appears on the table. He pours a glass and he drinks it. And after another moment of testing his voice, he says, "All right, this is new. Are you the one who brought me here? Where are we right now?"
I am pretty confused as well. I did indeed bring you here, and I'm just taking a deep breath and like remind myself, calm, patience. We're in a pocket dimension of sorts, and I contacted, I guess, you to, I suppose, trade information, get to understand each other better.
Something about that doesn't seem right. I haven't been anywhere for a very long time. How did you find me? How did you pull me out?
Pull you out? And where did I pull you out from?
I would hope you would know as well as anything. Who are you?
My name is Yugon Everett, and I don't know who you are. I contacted something entirely different called the Hunger.
He kind of tilts his head. And he starts laughing a little bit, just kind of quietly under his breath. And he says, I'm sorry. I just realized I haven't laughed in a long time either. I guess I haven't done anything for a long time other than, well, eat, if that's the parlance you're using right now. No, I'm just double checking. Can I leave whenever I want? I think I'm going to leave. This has been a novel experience, but I really can't risk getting trapped forever in some kind of weird pocket dimension.
You're not going to be trapped forever, but I wanted to know why you have been chasing us for all these years. We've been on the run for over 2 decades now, and you've killed my friends quite a few times.
So here's my angle on this. And he holds up his hand and black fire starts wreathing it and he says, "I don't see why I should tell you anything if I've already won." And he clenches his fist, and you feel this incredible pain shoot through your chest. And you are dead.
What?
You tried.
Fuck off!
And you wake up in the next cycle. And I will give you the option of talking to everyone else before going into every cycle, so you can talk about like what you want to ask this guy about.
Okay,
Assuming you want to go back at all.
I guess I'll try. like the whole year of training and all that had to be for a reason. So Yugon doesn't want to just like quit or anything. But that hurt. That hurt way more than the other times. I think for flavor text, he just kind of stumbles in. Like, is this like when you say that this is the next cycle? Like, what have the others been up to? Are they still in the same room or something? Or
No, you're not going to wake up again until the hunger comes and takes this world, and you start the next loop. But these are going to be intermediary loops where, like, I'm going to give you guys a chance to talk about what Yugon hears, decide what kinds of things you want to ask, and then Yugon can jump in and have another conversation. But that way you guys can all together make plans, because even though we're not going over every individual loop, you're going to have an entire loop to plan what he's going to say to this guy.
I am slightly confused, but okay.
Basically, okay, so you know how I've jumped from, like, loop 17 to loop 21 to loop 30 some odd?
Yeah.
You can basically plan whatever you want, and just at the end of every one of those years, if anytime you want to, you go back, talk to dude, shit happens. But so if you're going to go back, I recommend you guys talk about what you want to say.
Okay.
So, have at it.
I have no fucking idea. He has no reason to talk to us. That's what he said. So
I mean, we have to have a reason as to why he would talk, like some sort of implication that he doesn't have things like one the way he thinks he does.
yeah, but we have no chips to bargain with. So
I feel like we might, but we're just not thinking of it.
Body creation? Question mark.
Yeah, let's bargain.
to be like, well, I mean, you don't have everything. We got all these fucking lights of creation over here.
Yeah.
We got this shit.
What do you got? Nothing. Get out of here.
From like, yeah, it'd be like from where I stand, we've kept the light of creation from you pretty much every single time now. It doesn't seem to be going that smoothly for you.
Not every time, but the majority of them.
The majority of the time. If you had won, then why are we still
here?
alive?
Oh.
Why are we still? Why are we still outweaving you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think he's bluffing. I think he's bluffing on this whole statement that like he has the upper hand and that he's already won. I think he's just saying that to make us like
because if he was really that powerful, he wouldn't.
We'd be
have,
dead. We'd be gone. Like we wouldn't be going through these loops.
Not just that, but he was like kind of taken back by when he was brought there. He's like, "Where am I? What's going on?" And we're like, "Haha, sup, fucker? You're not God, so you know what? Fuck you." With a lot less fucks in it, but you know what I mean.
I was about to call
him how he feels.
I was about to call Gwen Kate Gwen.
Kate Gwen.
Like out of character question. Is this how I died so many times?
Yes.
Finally.
I knew it. I knew when you mentioned how the parlay works that this is the reason.
Yeah.
There's no. Oh my god. So it's because I just tried to play Peacemaker with the freaking hunger.
Let's ask it how it feels about its life. Why is it hungry?
So, yes, can we ask it to go on a diet? Maybe eat only one world a decade instead of like 100.
No wonder you look like a fatter Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell doesn't exist in this continuity.
Not yet, it doesn't.
What?
Christ almighty. Okay, so you're going back.
Hesitantly, yes.
Okay.
I'm scared.
So you appear in the same room, and it's the same setup. You're sitting at one end of the room, and this figure is standing at the other. And he looks around and furrows his brows and says, "All right, okay, interesting. So you were telling the truth. Sorry about killing you before. I needed to know that I could get out of here if I needed to. So now I know the rules, and now I guess we can talk." And he kind of holds out his hands like...
What, is he like holding his hand out to shake, or because I'm not touching his hand? Fuck that.
He slowly retracts it and goes, "Fair. Fair point."
Seduce him.
This is like the one time that I don't have any interest in seducing a character. Plus, he's still 15. He doesn't have that interest yet.
Oh, right.
Have you ever met a 15-year-old?
Oh, shit. I just thought about me at 15 years old.
How awkward.
So
How awkward.
he says, I think we got off on the wrong foot. I think hold on. You have to understand. It's been a very long time, but I think... Yes, okay. I think my name was or is Saris.
What?
Oh,
And
Wait,
As in the opposite of Istis.
oh my.
Wait. No. Oh, I gasped for a completely other reason.
you sure did.
Guys, Saris is the name that Yugon goes by, like, as his alternate identity.
Yugon, can you please stop fucking eating us?
Am I the hunger?
Yeah, you might not be the hunger, but you sure are in his bedroom.
What?
Christ.
Okay, I have to wipe from my mind that that's a thing for a second, because he doesn't have a second identity. Oh, wait. What did he file in his fucking papers?
Regular name, just a fake age.
Oh, okay, so you didn't
No,
put Saris.
what I imagine, and you can change this as you see fit, but like the persona of Saris is absolutely supposed to be a cultured, well-mannered, very slick individual, correct?
Yes.
That's exactly what's standing in front of you right now. The very picture of a very slick, very well manicured, absolutely wonderfully put together person. So I thought that would be a fun callback.
Oh, okay. So, okay. I thought for a second there you were implying something very heavy.
No.
Okay, thank God.
No, I just think that you subconsciously stole the name.
You
So-
scared me.
So Yugon won't be fucking himself then. Got it.
Correct.
That would have been one hell of a plot twist. Oh, Jesus.
So Saris sits down in the chair and spreads his wings out over the back and says, "So, I think an exchange of information would be good. Do you want? Are you thirsty? I don't know how this works. I don't.
I like
Can we even be
I love how polite he's being right now, by the way.
He looks at the table for a second, and another pitcher of water and 2 cups pop up. Oh, I guess that's how that works.
Thanks. Help yourself as well. He's just kind of waiting for that black fire explosion as he takes one of the cups. He's naive enough to take a sip, by the way.
He says it's actually kind of nice to talk to somebody. So I like to talk. I'd like to learn more about this invincibility of yours, and I don't mind sharing a little about myself in return. But you have to understand that there's things that I'm going to do or that we're going to do, and there's not a whole lot either one of us can do to stop it. But as long as we're here, sure, let's talk.
From
And
no, what were you gonna say?
no, please.
From what you're implying, are you saying that you don't have control over you, I guess, consuming planets?
I'm in something of an uncomfortable position. There's something I want. There's something I've been trying to do. And I've been at it for a good long while. Long enough that the machine kind of runs itself at this point. I do need you to understand that I won't stay here for very long. I don't know how this works. I don't know if this is some kind of trap.
It's not a trap. It's just a few questions back and forth, and you don't have to blast me in a ball of fire to release yourself. I'll release myself for you.
Interesting.
Well, you did squish me the first time, so that's still the most jarring death on my resume.
So you've died more than once. To me?
To
us.
To you, to both of you. Is what you're seeking, what you've been after the entire time, is it something that's dubbed the light of creation?
Yugon, I want you to go ahead and roll either plus mind or plus heart to determine how these exchanges are going to go.
You give me a choice between my +2 and my +3. I'm picking my +3 every time.
Fair enough. Okay, so Cirrus says, yes, the light of creation is what allows us to do what we do. I'm sure you've seen us in the wild taking and absorbing and expanding. We do this using the power of the light of creation. That's what lets us become what we are. How should I explain this? No two things can occupy the same space, Yugon, but that is exactly what I am. I am a bunch of places in the same place, on top of and within and without one another. When I consume a plane, I use the power of the light to tie it on, so to speak. Its bonds become my bonds. Everything about that process utterly destroys the laws of physics and mathematics and arcane interactions. And the light is what makes that process possible.
And these things that you consume, the bonds that you gain, the people that you take in your wake, are they dead, like completely gone from this realm, this reality, or are they in you?
They're part of me. They're part of us. And then he kind of looks around and he looks kind of nervous, and the black veins in his wings kind of flicker. He says, I think more questions are going to have to wait. You should go.
All right. And I see black. I'm going back.
Yeah, if you hang out even for a second after he says that, his hand lights up on fire.
Nope. I literally tear open the rift just so I can throw myself back through.
Okay.
This is getting very, very extraordinarily stressful. I mean, I'm talking with the main bad guy, people. This is not a picnic. It could be a picnic. Okay.
What's next on the docket?
Oh, so we're back to OOC powwow.
Mhm.
Okay, so what I got from him was the question that I believe Alta had about like what if those people are still alive, etc., etc. So we cleared that up. We know that he's chasing after a light of creation, which is kind of a gimme, but at least it's better to clarify it, like through his words and stuff. So what now?
I honestly don't know. Do you guys have any ideas?
Caitlin, you're supposed to be my wing woman.
Well, I don't know. It's an like an overpowerful like he literally said himself he destroys concepts. So I don't think there's much to ask him.
This is kind of like trying to deal with Q from Star Trek.
Yeah, it's like you can't really.
I mean, there's ways, but you have to be really unorthodox about it.
It's genuinely up to you whether you keep going back, and if this is taking too long, we can always call it and then do a couple more conversations in between arcs.
It's up to you guys. I just don't know like right now what to ask him.
Yeah, me neither. Like, I feel like this is super important and like a once in, well, I wouldn't say once in a lifetime opportunity, but this
I was gonna say.
that would have been really a bad play on words there, but